And thank you for watching Weekend Prime and welcome back. Now, we are coming to you straight from Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, and we are here to have a discussion on the Western region and the climate action that are needed to be taken. We are having discussions with opinion leaders, researchers, and even the locals. Ken Mejungu is on the other side of the studio with that conversation. Over to you, Ken.
Thank you, Dennis, and the news continues after this. But before I come back to my panelists, I'd like a view from the institution. So, Alan, if you could just hand over the mic, the VC, for about a minute, then I'll come back to the panelists.
Well, our host here, Professor Solomon Shivairo, maybe you could just hold for yourself because being a professor, you have your closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, KTN, particularly led by Ken Michungu, for having chosen to come and have this discussion in this university. My name is Professor Solomon Ikosango Shibairo, the Vice Chancellor. This university is the largest in the Western region, hosting about 21,000 students. We have 11 schools. Our flagship program is engineering, followed by health sciences, and then the School of Natural Disaster Management, which houses the issues or matters climate change. We are proud to have contributed to this in various ways. One, we have degrees, certificates, and many other programs that produce students that get either employed or do things to do matters climate change. And then there are researchers like Professor Orata who have contributed a lot to the knowledge of climate change. We engage in a community capacity building in matters climate change by training them. We have also equipped people following the agenda of the government by giving seedlings out. We have also planted trees as a university, within the university, all over Kenya, including the Mara and even in the mangroves at the coast. So we are proud to be that part. Matters climate change are real. The obvious ways you can see them, it's like, for example, this part or point in time in Western, the climate would not be like this. It would be different in the olden times. And you find it so warm during the night, beyond what you can imagine. Nobody can predict the future. So what we do, and those are things that we are trying to answer today. But I want to welcome you all. Please feel at home and ask you to allow your sons and daughters to join this university, the university of choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Santini Sana. All right, we have a few minutes on the clock, and I now want to take these opportunities. We've had a lot of discussions here tonight, and I'll begin with Judith, your closing remarks in terms of how to move this conversation forward from the ground level. How do we move it forward?
Thank you, Ken. Moving this conversation forward, I would like to urge all of us to build capacity, create awareness, do what you can do in your own sphere of influence to adapt, but also to mitigate and reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. Then I would like to say this is, as we said, it is a global phenomenon and it is transboundary. I would like also to say it also takes a multi-stakeholder approach. So it cannot be one person or one institution. It cannot just be the county government. So all stakeholders affected in one way or another to come together. There are platforms that have been formed, especially for climate smart agriculture, to come together, put our resources and efforts in one basket to be able to move forward. As Dr. Otichilo said, Kenya is a leader in climate change. We have all the institutional and policy frameworks in place. So we are already a decade in devolution, and we know that county governments are the units of implementation. It's a high time now to really be on the ground in the counties, translate all these policies into what works for us, and we implement, and then from there we can assess Where are we going? And I know if we do all this, using this multi-stakeholder approach, we'll be able to move forward. Thank you for the financial arrangement and the instruments. All I would call for also is efficient use of those resources, and we'll see a turnaround. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Governor Otichilo, your closing remarks, just in a minute, we are running out of time.
My closing remarks are that as a country, I must say we are doing well, but we can do better. And as county governments, I want to say that we hold a big stake in climate change activities, and as county governments, we are the people now to cascade the climate change issues to the grassroots, where it matters most.
Thank you, Governor. And our host, Governor, your closing remarks.
First and foremost, I want to state that climate change is here to stay, and therefore we have various opportunities as the county to make sure that we mitigate and adapt to climate change. Number one, the youth population accounting for over 70%. I think we need to come on board so that we can support a lot of agribusiness value chains. We have the dairy value chains because that is extremely important. Number two, it is the highest time that we partnered with the university. I was just discussing with Professor here that let's have an MOU with Masinde Muliro University so that we can see how we can unlock funds to support climate change interventions. And lastly, for purposes of making sure that our youth get employment opportunities, on the 19th of March, we'll be having the first Kakamega International Investment Conference here at Masinde Muliro University. So we're encouraging you to come and participate so that we can see how we can transform our county and the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Asante.
Professor Francis, I skipped you intentionally because your VC had spoken.
Okay.
We've run out of time. But I want to thank you for your participation tonight. Governor Otichilo, thank you so much for your participation tonight also. And we're looking forward to the interventions on the ground and adopting to the current situation. We have to accept we are there. Governor Fernandez, I want to thank you also very much for welcoming us here and, of course, participating in our program. And, of course, Judith, thank you also so much for participating. And all the people in the audience, clap for yourselves. Asanteni sana for participating. We'll have another opportunity to do this again in Kakamega, but right now we have to go back to studio, back to your seto.
And welcome back, Ken Mijungu there with that conversation on climate action. By now, President William Ruto Thursday announced that the UDA party will in future be presenting a male and woman presidential contestants. Now, he hinted that if a man is picked a presidential candidate, then a woman should be